Something just guided me there, and thank God it did, man. It was one of the best business decisions I've ever made. Right now, we're standing at 18 machines in the field. Just those 18 locations are driving roughly 650K gross revenue a year.
Give me one of your most unique items that you sell. Talk to me about like your biggest win. How has this made your life different now? All right, everyone. So I got Michael Deese with me here today, Vendingpreneur. Michael, I appreciate you joining me here today. How's everything going?
It's good. Everything's good, man. Yeah, we're about to have our once yearly winter storm here in Texas. It's the last 4 or 5 years or so. Seems to happen once a year, and like an ice age out there. And then it's 70-degree weather. You see, I'm still in shorts and
Yeah.
here in January, but it's very bizarre. But yeah, we're just preparing for that. But everything's good. Yeah.
Cool. How long have you been a part of Vendingpreneurs? When did you join?
February 2024.
So February 2024. Okay, so you came in like about 4 or 5 months after I came in September of 2023.
Yeah, I'm nipping on your heels, man. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah. Talk to me a little bit about like what was the problem you were experiencing prior to joining Vendingpreneurs? Like what were you going through?
Actually, honest to God, man, I got real lucky with this. I've been thinking about doing vending for quite some time before I joined Vendingpreneurs.
Mhm.
And, I had another business going. It was a crypto mining farm up in Dallas, and that was taking up a lot of my time. It was very sporadic and very volatile, so it wasn't a steady income kind of thing. And I was like, my wife's been working for Exxon for 20 years, trying to make enough money to get her to come home and be done with that career. So I was really feeling an urge to get involved in something, and I thought vending might be it. And we went out to dinner one night and had a discussion. I said, I think it's time. I think I'm actually going to pull the trigger. And I found this ad. Weird enough, it came through a crypto partner, a guy that I knew. So Michael Hoffman paid this guy, James Pelton, for an ad, and I received it in the email, and something just clicked. I'm very wary about these ads and everything, but
For sure.
then something about this Michael Hoffman guy that really resonated with me. And I
Yeah.
thought, you know what, maybe this is it. So I just started in Vendingpreneurs right away. So that's kind of the genesis of it.
What were you like experiencing like I mean, obviously you talked a little bit about it, but like why was it like why did you end up just like going in? Like why weren't you just say, you know what, let me just try to go ahead and do it by myself and go watch the YouTube videos and do this and like what was your tipping point? Like why did you end up joining then?
Largely I guess the thing that really tipped the scale in favor of paying I think back then it was something like $5,500 or something. I don't know what it is today, but
Mhm.
we were early adopters back then. It was largely because of the lead system that he had built. You get this certain territory, I think it was like 30-mile radius or something, if memory serves, and that they would be hammering these people and all that stuff. And I thought, with me at that point in time, still being relatively busy. So I thought, that would be a big help. Also, there was also a lot of resources and something about Michael just really felt right, to go ahead and make that leap. If I'm being honest, Anthony,
Yeah.
I needed a little push. Honestly,
Mm.
I needed a little bit of support there because I've done plenty of things on my own in my life, but at that point in time, I just needed that push, and something just guided me there. And thank God it did, man. It was one of the best business decisions I've ever made.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. As you have joined the community, so February of 2024, you're approaching your 2-year anniversary, of when we're filming this video. Talk to me like a little bit about like where you're at now. Like, what does your route look like now? Like, how many locations? What's your potential revenue? What you're doing per month?
Yeah.
Kind of talk a little bit about that.
Well, you see my face light up, man. It's it has really turned into a fledgling business. Now, listen, it wasn't always that way. It started low and then it just drug on for a while, and it took a lot of pounding the pavement. So right now we're standing at 18 machines in the field. They're very high value machines because we've been very picky and selective about our locations, because one of the things that I realized early on was efficiency mattered. As opposed to having 10 locations doing $500 each, you know what I mean? It was more
Exactly.
about cutting down the employee costs and the insurance and the vans and everything, all the logistics stuff you need. So I knew that was a big deal going into this. So we only selected high value locations. So just those 18 locations are driving roughly 650K gross revenue a year. So our goal is to hit 25. Now we've got roughly 15 to 20 unsigned contracts out in the field at any moment in time. They're hot. They're They're all on
Yeah.
board. They're just trying to get the uppers to, to sign off on it. You know how it goes. But yeah,
Oh, so you'll be nipping on $1 million route. You'll be nipping on $1 million run rate route by the end of the year.
yeah. Oh no, way before that. Yeah, we estimate, in my estimation, by April we should be well over $1 million out.
That's awesome. That's
Mhm.
incredible. So you joined in February 2024. When was your first location? When did you install it?
Yeah, it came in April. Now it feels like, looking back on this, that it took a lot longer.
Yeah.
I remember thinking like this was never going to happen. So it was weird. It was cool. It was just one of those things that just happened to happen. And so the Vendingpreneur emails that were going out happened to
Mhm.
land in someone's spam. This is back before they got all that stuff figured out. They were just
Yeah.
blasting out emails, and most of them were going to spam. So this lady, this PM at an apartment in Houston, happened to be checking her spam, and it just so happened that they were fed up to the deal with their current operator. They had a stock well, always empty. It was
Mm.
weird. They had just, the bottom row, they had just kind of threw stuff in there. It was very haphazard, very amateurish. And I went in there and assured her we could take care of it. We could straighten that up and all that kind of good stuff. That, this was family business. It was important to us to get
Yeah.
these things full. It doesn't make sense not to, and all these kinds of things. And she's all on board. She's like, yeah, let's do it. And I was like, crap. I came home and I got the check already, and sitting up,
Yeah.
I had to sit there waiting, and it was like 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks past nothing. I'm like, gosh, what? So I remember this thing that Michael had said, and I've really reminded my stepson of this often, which is my partner now. And that is that vending is the last thing on these people's minds.
Yeah.
They got a toilet burst on floor 3. They've got Jimmy and Joe's late on their rent in floor 4. They've got a domestic on floor 6. They've got everything in the world's going on. They got reports to file, quotas to make, people to answer to, and they get pulled in 1,000 different directions. So they'll get to it when they get to it, but it will be the last thing on the list.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. I agree with you on that. So how quickly did after you were waiting, after you did that pop, how quickly did you get that contract signed then?
Yeah, I guess we started at some point in March and by the end of April. So I guess it took maybe 6 weeks or so. Finally, one day, just out of the blue, after I had been sending an email follow up, hey, we're doing
Yeah.
this here. I was just researching in VP to figure out, what I could say. I didn't even know what to say. So I was just coming up with stuff about like, hey, we just did this down the street or something. I was really pulling stuff out of my rear end.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
anyway, yeah, towards the end of April, just out of nowhere, I got the contract back in, and it was go time.
No, that's awesome. That's incredible. Talk to me about like your biggest win. So you got like 18 locations that you have right now. Like what is the one location that, that does the most revenue per month? Like what is the highest one you have?
Yeah, I've got one. That's my gold mine. That's the one stock well was doing $70,000 a year. One stock well. That, it just blows your mind, right? So yeah, I've upgraded that to a Pico V plus ambient right now, and it was the absolute perfect location. It happened to be right by the mailroom, right by the main elevator, right by the entrance to the parking garage. All three right there. Boom, boom, boom. It stuck it right there, and man, is that thing a gold mine. Honestly.
So how many times were you stocking it with the stock well per week? Were you doing it twice a week?
3,
4 times?
yeah,
And then when you
it's
and then when you switched over to the Pico, obviously it's a bigger machine. What did your stock capacity go down to then after you made the switch to the bigger machine? Did you just do it twice a week from 3?
I would say 2.5 times. So
Okay.
on Wednesday, we do just go by there and top up drinks. Even though it's, the Stockwell 6 deep, the Pico V is 8 deep. So that helped. And there's one extra row. So it did
Yeah.
help a lot. However, they still sell through, man. So it's like,
Yeah, no, for
on
sure.
one of our ethos, it drives me crazy to have any row empty ever. I don't
Yeah.
want a single row empty ever, especially
agree.
if people want it.
I agree.
So very
That's why
important to me to keep that stock. So on Wednesday, we'll sort the pick list by inventory, zero stock out, look for what's out. And then
Yeah.
we'll go by and we'll top up those drinks, and that's it. Leave all the food and stuff until the Monday, Friday.
Yeah, it's funny because like I have a couple locations where I got one row of Coke, one row of Pepsi or Celsius and all this stuff. Like, I'll have it because of the ones that move, right? I'll double and triple and quadruple up
Yeah.
like on those ones. But I'll tell you, there's some locations that I have. It doesn't matter. Like all my drinks are gone and they sell. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't. So I can't double and triple up with everything because I don't have enough space. But like, I mean, obviously it's a great problem to have because you're just going to get people to go back in there and stock it. I love those locations, but there are some that I have where, dude, I could put anything in there and it would go,
It's the truth, man. It's a constant battle. And then, what I love hate actually, but what
Yeah,
you go in there and you're like merchandise the smart water because the smart water just keeps running out. So you had add an extra
yeah,
row, and then this week only 3 sell. And you're like, everything else sells out. Like, ah, it's
dude.
just always moving.
I love selling water. That margin on water and profit that you can get on water
It's weird.
is unbelievable.
It's
Like,
weird.
honestly, like, it's unreal.
I tell this story all the time because I put the Aquafina there and then I put the smart water beside it. The smart water is $4 and the Aquafina is like $1.25. And people go for the smart water every time. And I was like, it's
Every
all they
time.
had to do was put smart on the bottle. It
It's
just had to
unbelievable.
put smart on the bottle.
It's unbelievable.
Everybody's like, whoa, man, I don't think I'm gonna go with the smart one.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, dude, it is absolutely incredible. Like, I have that too. Like, we got Pure Life in one that we sell for $1.99, and then the Smart Waters, I got those in there for $4.99 of, like, where I'm at, so and then I've also sprinkled in, like, some Voss and then some San Pellegrino as well too, just to give some people some other options of, like, a carbonated water, and, those I mean, th those do, like, all phenomenal for me.
Mhm.
Alright, everybody, appreciate you watching. Click on the link below and subscribe to the channel. Mike, I appreciate you coming on here. Some other things here, that I kinda wanna get into is, you're doing the Bitcoin mining or the crypto mining, all that stuff, like, how has this made your life different now? With you being in control of your own business, you're doing this with your stepson, which I think is the coolest. I had the privilege to meet you both in
Yeah.
person last year at NAMA, which was awesome, and, yeah, it was really cool to meet your stepson and, kinda give him some tips there as well too of kinda what was working for me when I met you guys in person, but, just kinda talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's probably when you were asking me earlier before you indicated you were talking about which machine was my biggest win. When you asked me what the biggest win was, it was the first thing that popped into my mind was bringing my stepson on as a partner. He had just graduated college with a business degree at A&M, and he had a decision to make. He was going out into the job field. He put some resumes out, trying to test the
Mhm.
waters and everything. He wasn't getting a lot of hits, and I was just happened to at that time. I think I had 3 locations. I was doing some pop-ins, but I was like tempering it a little bit because there was only so much that I could do.
Yeah, for sure.
So I put him to the side one day and I said, "Look, I've got this opportunity. Now it's completely up to you, and there's going to be some risk in this, but I'm willing to give up my income for as long as it takes. I don't need to make a dime out of this, and I'm willing to give it all to you and do the best that I can for as long as I can to maybe hopefully bring you on more full time as this grows. And it's going, it's a risk because when you choose this route, I mean, it could change the direction of your life. So I gave him all this whole spiel,
Yeah.
and he decided ultimately that he was going to take the chance. I couldn't pay him a full time salary, so he had worked 40 hours a week or more in college at Lowe's. So he kept working at Lowe's part time, working with me part time.
Mhm.
And ultimately, we just kept pounding the pavement. We were doing 30 pop ins a week, and it was a long time. These sales cycles are so long. We estimate between 6 to 8 months from the time you shake their hand the first time to the time they sign the contract. So you just have to keep pounding, keep being
Yeah.
persistent. And then they just come in like bunches, like we get 4, 5, 6 of them at a time. It's like, oh, there it is.
Floodgates open.
Floodgates open, man, but you just gotta keep pounding.
Yeah.
You're always gonna come through and you're top of mind because you're always popping in and saying, "Hey, just checking in," and, look at
Yeah.
this. And, anyways, it's been a really big win because now I'm paying him a great salary,
It's
and
incredible.
we're working on doing official paperwork to bring him on as an official partner here soon. And now finally, honest to God, I just took my first pay from this business 3 months ago. But now I'm getting paid every month. Clockwork, first of the month, there comes my money, boom, Austin's money, boom, and then we still got money to save and everything else. So it's just great. I mean, our bottom line looks great. We're making great profit margins now with the 18 machines. Our cogs are great. Our systems are great. We're working this
Yeah.
thing out. We're improving our systems along the way. So it's just been really great. And now once a month, I go and have lunch with Austin, and I go and I inspect the machines, and I hold him accountable,
For
and I
sure.
show him, the things that he needs to do to become a better leader and to one day operate his own business.
Yeah.
So it's just been a great thing.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's incredible. That's extremely inspiring of like how you were able to kind of connect with your stepson on doing that and building that together. Yeah, man, that's amazing. That's absolutely incredible. Where do you think you would be right now if you didn't join Vendingpreneurs? I get asked this question all the time, and I'm curious to hear your answer.
Well, I've been doing my own thing since roughly 2013. I left the workforce and started doing entrepreneurial type stuff, investing and everything else. I would probably be here, but the bank account won't look quite as good.
what did you come from, like, in 2013? Like, what were you doing previously that you were working, like, work-wise? Like, what did you do for work?
Every blue collar job known to man. I have no official training. I have no college.
Mm.
Graduated high school, joined the Air Force, did my time there, came out, did every construction job known to man. I've done everything from rebar in the ground, concrete to iron work up in the 300 feet in the air. So,
Oh,
and I
wow.
just kind of bounced around all over the place. I was a mailman for a spat. I did 2.5 years as a mailman until I got laid off there. So yeah, just kind of done all physical stuff, but I always knew it was just my life was cut out for more than that. And it was one of the reasons I never really stayed one place too long. I kind of bounced around because I was never satisfied. It was just not for me to work for somebody else. I was always going to be my own boss. And ultimately, I finally took that risk and went off and haven't looked back since.
Couple last questions here, and I appreciate your time here, here today, Michael, I really do. Give me one of your most unique items that you sell that you're like, "I can't believe we sell this as much as we do."
We've had a bunch of those over the year. We even tried once. I'll tell you, this is a fun. I went and I bought one of those pre-done old fashioned in a mason jar. It just had all the ingredients in it with the dried fruit and everything, and all you had to do was pour the liquor in. So I enjoyed that so much. We came home and we created something called Kaki's Creations, which is my wife's nickname, Kaki.
Okay.
And we started selling those for like 35 bucks a pop, and they did okay. But that was one very unique thing that we did. But today we've kind of scaled it back, more high throughput stuff. I enjoyed some South Bend chocolate, salty dark chocolate pretzels in South Carolina, and we sell those pretty high throughput on those.
Okay, cool. You have to send me that name so I can look at it and see if I can source that thing. Last question, so I have a couple more minutes. If someone was on the fence about joining Vendingpreneurs, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that I completely understand, especially if you've joined any type of opportunities in the past that didn't fulfill what they said that they would do. I can tell you that Vendingpreneurs is a work in progress and that we have witnessed over the last couple of years very huge milestones. And I can just tell you from my own experience, it's one of the best business decisions I've ever had and ever made, simply because it's given me way more than I put into it, way more. So I feel the need I'm obligated to continue to help. Like I'm doing this podcast right now. I always stay in the forum and try to help with questions there. I have a DM that's wide open. Anybody can ask me questions. I've helped lots of entrepreneurs along the way. I try to offer support and encouragement along the way. And I can say that if you're on the fence, I understand. However, if you're all about it and you're willing to put in the work and you're going to stay dedicated, this is the program for you. If this is what you want, then it's a good one.
Well said. I concur. Mike, obviously, me and you are both products of the community and, case studies for Mike. And, I know I wouldn't be here if I did not have the support and mentorship, from other people inside the community and, to where we're at here today to kind of regain, the control of our own lives, especially now when you look and you just see all these layoffs with AI and this. And it's just like me and my wife were just talking about it, and the other day. And she's like, when at the time when I got left, she's like, thank goodness you didn't go back and get a W-2. And I go, it's scary. It's definitely scary when you're trying to do it, but you said you hit it on the head. You definitely got to put in the work and you have to go after it. So
Yeah,
yeah,
if you're expecting everything to be handed to you on a silver platter, that's not it. It requires
yeah,
work.
exactly. No, I hear you. All right, everyone. That was Michael's story. If you're interested in joining Vendingpreneurs along other successful vending operators like himself, click on the link below to book a call with us today. Michael, man, I appreciate you. Go get your snow boots out, get your old snow jacket out, get that generator locked and loaded ready because I know you guys are getting some snow and I know you guys shut down. It's going to be minus 30 here tomorrow
That's
in Chicago.
that's wild,
And
dude. That's wild.
yeah, so they've already canceled. I already just got the email that my kids are e-learning tomorrow. So tomorrow will be a
So
fun
crazy,
day.
man. Minus 32, we shut down. That's we're out.
All right, my man. I'll talk to you. I
All right,
appreciate you
thank
doing
you.
this, man.
Appreciate you, buddy.
Take
Let's
it
see you
easy.
get an hammer this year.